After Dylan Brooks was ejected for his flagrant 2 on Gary Payton II last night, Draymond Green left the game to get stitches on his face. He got bloodied following some tough play in the post. On his way to the locker room, Draymond gave Memphis fans the middle finger, and he explained the exchange after the game.
You're going to boot somebody who get elbowed in the eye and face running on blood, you should get flipped off. So I'll take the fine. I'll go do an appearance and make up the money. But it felt really good to flip them off. If they're going to be that nasty, I can be nasty too. And I'm assuming the cheers was because they know I'll get fined. Great, I make $25 million a year. I should be just fine.
Some very frank talk, shall we say, from Draymond. Shannon, do you think he should be fined or suspended for those comments?
He's going to get fined, but he's going to get a very heavy and stern talking to by the league office. Because Draymond is starting to get on thin ice. Okay, he did what he did Sunday, and then this situation, and I get it, it's frustrated. Skip, I remember listening to the audio when Michael Irvin laid on the field in Veterans Stadium, and they was cheering. That's just what you do. Opposing team. I mean, some fan bases will wait and see what transpired, and then they clap. That's not what some fan bases do. It wasn't the entire stadium, but a large portion of the stadium was cheering that Michael Irvin laid motionless on the field at the stadium.
That is true. In
this situation, they look at you, Draymond, you're an adversary. You're walking off. They don't, I mean, yeah, they see blood. It's like, look, it serves you right. Because of what you did the other day, that's how fans look at it, Skip. They're like, okay, you got, that's the karma.
Yep.
For you doing to Clark, you hit him in the face, you tugged on his jersey, whether you say you grabbed it or pulled it or whatever terminology you want to use, they say that was the karma. You see, it didn't take long to get you back. But Draymond, come on, Draymond. Right, you grown man, you got kids, got a wife, and you flipping fans off. That makes you feel good. I don't know, Skip. For me, I've never been a guy that really liked to flip people off. I just say what I say and I just keep it moving. But come on, Draymond. But the NFL's they're gonna find him, and they're gonna talk to him because Skip, in games like this, they want you on your best behavior because they want fans to like, wow, there's enough of that going on out here in the world. I don't want to see that when I watch my sporting event. I don't want guys behaving like that. So he's going to get fined. But I just wish Draymond sometimes just take the high road, bro. I got to get it. Yeah, Draymond, you know they're going to cheer. It's you. They don't care nothing about the blood because it's like you didn't say anything. You look how the antics that you were displaying when you got ejected. You running around the court like it was Christmas. So they're like, it serves you right that you got elbow inadvertent. At least they can say, well, that was an inadvertent elbow. Both of you guys were going for a rebound, and you got the worst end of it. But Draymond, come on, Draymond, you're bigger than this. I mean, it's time out. It's enough of this.
Agreed. And then some. Draymond is getting more and more defiant.
Yes.
To the point that somebody upstairs is going to say, that's enough.
Yes.
He is on the thinnest of suspension ice.
Yes.
And I don't want to see him gone for a big game 3 or 4 or whichever it would be. But he's cruising for a big NBA bruising.
Yes, he is.
Because you can't keep on keeping on because obviously he slapped Brandon Clark in the face, and then he grabbed hold of his jersey and jerked him down, then acted like he was trying to pick him up. But then I told you, I was okay with that. I wouldn't have flagrant 2'd him for that. But it almost felt like a flagrant 3 because he went Antonio Brown. He just went crazy, like a crazy person, running around the court, flailing his arms. And it rubbed the ref's nose in it.
Yes.
He showed them up. And then he skipped his post-game media availability, and I'm pretty sure that's a fine right there.
Right.
For the sake of going straight back to the hotel and doing an emergency podcast in which he looked right down barrel and gave his point of view without being able to
cross-examine.
There's no cross-examination because you don't get Q&A'd by the media scrum, right? I don't think the commissioner loved that.
No.
And then I definitely don't think the commissioner loves the defiance of, I'll just go, go ahead and find me. I'll go do an appearance, and that will cover the fine.
Right.
That's pretty arrogant.
Yes.
Or I make $25 million. What do I care about another fine? Well, clearly he doesn't care about another fine.
Right.
And I remind you, he's got a track record going here that is growing by the game.
Right.
And over his career, he has been fined almost $1 million by the league for technical fouls. And he has the second most technicals since he joined the league to only Russell Westbrook. Second just barely to Russ. So almost $1 million in fines, second to Russ. We know what happened in 2016. He actually got suspended. I did not want to see it happen, but he got suspended for the pivotal Game 5 back at Oracle, which reopened the door for LeBron and Kyrie to run through it and come back from 3-1 down.
Correct.
The point being that if you keep daring the commissioner and daring the commissioner, at some point the commissioner is going to say, you know what? I got to say that's enough to you.
Yes.
Because you're playing completely out of control here.
Yes.
And to your point, he's become like he's made himself into the ultimate wrestling villain. He's the heel. After what he did to the crowd with his Antonio Brown meltdown walk-off or runoff, what did he think was going to happen? Yeah, he took an inadvertent elbow from Xavier Tillman and it cut his eye. Okay, we got it. And yet, that doesn't give you the right to double bird them. They're just booing you because of what you did to their guy.
Yes, yes.
They don't even know exactly what just happened.
Right. He said, well, they saw the blood running down my face. I'm not sure. I don't know if they saw that. All they saw is you go into the locker room. And it's like, yeah, go to the locker room because of what you did on Sunday. That's just fan behavior.
Yep. It's a really bad look for the league. What he said was
it's a worse look for Draymond.
It is.
Because Skip, he should be above that. I mean, the flip the fans off. I mean, it made him feel good. But bro, you have to understand your actions on Sunday led to this, led for them cheering because it was almost like you hit the man in the face, you snatch him down, they throw you out of the game, and you're like, yeah, I did it, yeah, and what? Yes. Bro, come on, Draymond. It's time out for this, bro. You're too good of a player to have to do this, to resort to these kind of antics.
Yep.
Skip, I see if he's a marginal player, if he's a fringe player. But Draymond's too good. He's too valuable. The guy's been an all-star. He's been an all-NBA player. He's been Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
There's a chance that he's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And these kind of antics? Come on, bro, you're not Rodman. Let Rodman did things like this. You better than this.
That's true. Rodman did things like this just to do them.
Yes.
Just to get under everybody's skin, including the league's skin.
Yes.
But Draymond said the other day, I did not hurt my team. Well, he was very fortunate the team took him off the hook by coming back to win the game without him.
Correct.
But in the end, he was saying, I didn't hurt my team because hurting my team is giving up layups. Well, no, you didn't give up layups, but you put them in a jeopardy position, and then you doubled down because you said on TNT, the infamous quote now that I underlined and went all caps on Twitter with was, we feel even more comfortable against Memphis now in a playoff series than we did in the regular season because they're just not experienced enough. He put Memphis on notice last night, and Memphis said, okay, watch this. So I think he effectively hurt his team last night with that comment. I ask him now, do you feel comfortable? You still feel comfortable going back home for Game 3?
No.
With what you saw from John Morant last night?
Because Memphis believe they can beat you. I think, I'll skip back there 1 second, even though they lost Game 1. They're like, we beat this team 3-1 in the regular season. Now, they can say, well, all the times they didn't have Clay, but they did win.
Yep.
And so they won this game. They believe they can be. Sometimes, Skip, you can be inexperienced enough to not know that I'm not inexperienced, that I'm inexperienced.
Yep.
And what the hell we got to lose?
I agree.
Everybody said the big bad Warriors, they're supposed to be here. They're supposed to do that. Okay. That's what Mike Tyson was telling me on the podcast, Skip. He said, sometimes you get a guy and he's scared enough he don't know any better, and he whoop your ass. Sometimes you get a team like Memphis. They don't know any better.
Like Buster Douglas.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So I remind you, a fairly high-stakes play-in game. It was just a play-in game, but it was a game at Golden State last year. Steph played. Draymond played. Jordan Poole played.
Yes.
No Clay. No Clay. That's the only missing ingredient, but there was no Clay. And sometimes you could say last night it felt like there was no Clay. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Memphis managed to take that game to overtime and win it 117 to 112, and Ja had 35 points.
Right.
And Desmond Bain did a decent job. I'm sorry, Dylan Brooks did a decent job on Steph. Steph still came up pretty big in that game. What did he wind up with? He had 39 in that game, but he wasn't great in overtime. Ja was good in overtime. Memphis was good in overtime and just ran away with the overtime and won by 5. So my point is, they're going back to that same building thinking, we won a playoff game.
Yeah, we've been here before. We won before.
Yeah, and you could call that a play-in, but it's a playoff game, right?
It's definitely a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, and don't you think you feel pretty good about yourself, even though there wasn't Clay?
You know what I feel good about, Skip? They don't have nobody on that team that can stop Ja. That's what I feel good about. Sometimes, Skip, we get into a game, we're like, okay, y'all can't stop TD. I don't care about all them pass rushes y'all got. When we line up in 2 tight ends and we run this ball down, what are you going to do? What are the pass rushers going to do about that?
The Green Bay Packers couldn't stop him.
Exactly.
Even if he had a migraine, they couldn't stop him.
Exactly.
Right?
And so we got Ja. Y'all don't have anybody that can stay in front of him. Not at GP the second side, even when GP was there, he gave up 34.
He did.
Clay can't stay in front of him. Poole, you're not going to even think about putting Clay on him. So who are you going to put on him that can stay in front of him?
You can try Steph a little bit.
No, you ain't trying Steph. But this kid, and he might have to give you 40+ a game in order for them to win. Because I don't believe that Steph and Clay is going to shoot what they shot.